Welcome to MazatlanMyCity.com. You're watching the spirit of Mazatlan. Hi, girls.
Hey. Well, can you tell summer's on its way?
Summer
it's
is
really starting to heat up, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's so hot. I really feel it. But you know what I love about summer? I love the storms. I love the constant heat. It's sexy. You're sweating, you're detoxing. I love the temperature in the water, and I love the big waves.
Do you remember what I told you last year?
I remember it very well. Everybody had gone north, my friends headed home, and they warned me that the heat would be very difficult, but I love it.
You know what else too? I think the Mexicans really respect you a lot more when you stay.
Oh, we wear a badge of honor.
And you actually got your badge.
Oh, right. I have got my badge of honor.
Oh, that's so funny. So did we get any emails?
I'm glad you asked. These Ask a Mazatlan emails are pouring in, and I've chosen something from the fact that I can't even say this properly. Is that what you're talking about? I've chosen something from Tim, who comes from Minnesota, and this is funny. Here's what he writes. I live here part-time, and I always wonder why the Mexicans whistle for everything. What is all the whistling about? Now, perhaps our crew could whistle for me.
Well, wait, first a minute. Let's say something about the whistling. Whistling is really old, and I think it really is a type of language.
Oh.
So there's not just one whistle. There's many different types of whistles. Oh. So for example, there's a whistle for a pretty lady. I'll ask them. A ver, una chica guapa, ¿cómo se oye? But then, if you're mad at someone who's being, you know, a bit of a you-know-what on the road, there's also a whistle or a honk.
I've heard this one.
And let's hear it. Cuando estás enojado, ¿cómo chiflas?
You know what?
You didn't see the hand gestures that went with that whistle.
You know what? I had heard that that's a really bad whistle.
It is. And then there's also whistling for trades. For example, if you're selling like a person that comes around and sells tamales they whistle a certain way. So you always know that that's the whistling for their trade.
Okay.
I always found that the whole whistle thing was kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So
your cat, you were talking about earlier that she's a prima donna.
You know what?
In the heat.
In the aircon.
She's depressed right now when I don't have I have an electric bill like you can't imagine because my cat goes into depression without air conditioning.
Oh my goodness. Well, we invited a guest, and a really special guest today.
Yeah.
He's I know that sometimes people worry about the proper care that they're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, if you bring your pet down, if you decide you're going to have your pet here.
Yeah.
We invited a very special guest. His name is Dr. Cesar Duarte. He's a very international. He speaks English.
I love Cesar.
And let's invite him on the show.
Yep.
Welcome, Cesar.
He is so gorgeous.
So we can say
Buenas tardes, Cesar.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Muy bueno.
You can.
You know what?
Perfectly.
When I first came to Mexico, the very first number that got in my phone was his. One of the expats sent me his number. It was the very first one, which is important.
Because you worried about
Because
COVID.
I was a nervous mom. Yeah, nervous cat mom.
How did you know, Cesar? How did you meet him?
Well, other than the fact that I have him in my telephone, I had an interesting situation. I was standing outside my salon, remember that? And all of a sudden I see this guy across the street with this giant iguana by his tail. And I'm thinking, really? What is that guy doing? And so, of course, I'm going to go out there and yell at him, why are you holding the iguana like that? He lifts it up, and I see he's got his neck slit, but he's still alive. And
because he was the guy who's trimming the trees with the machete.
Right. And I'm just like, oh my God. And so I'm, like ready to burst into tears, and I'm like, Glenn over at McCaw's, Glenn, we need help. And so he says, you need to call Cesar. I got Cesar on the phone, and I'm talking fast. Glenn had just called him, and I'm like, we've got a herd iguana, and I'm just really a mess. He came over, and the iguana was behind the bar. And he came over and literally did surgery on the bar.
On the bar?
Yeah.
I heard about that. I hope you're sterilized with alcohol.
And the iguana right now is very happy. That's the reason when the iguana see me, she said to me, hello anytime that you want to see me.
You know what the cool thing is? The iguana is in the aquarium right now, and he has 3 legs, so he won't be released.
But he's very happy, isn't he, Cesar? Yeah.
Exactly, he's very happy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So don't you do house calls?
Yeah.
Cesar looks after our dog Snickers, and Cesar has come to us every single time. It's absolutely fabulous. And I think I've told you about the time once when you and I were talking, when our little poodle got hit by a car back in Australia, and before they would fix his broken leg, I haven't told you this, Cesar, they ran my credit card through for, I think, about $2,250 Australian dollars. That's 2,500 American, approximately. But when Cesar comes to us to look after Snickers, it's certainly great value. But presumably, Cesar, that's one of the reasons why you do that, going to people's houses, because it makes it so much more affordable, apart from the fact that a lot of us don't have cars here.
So, Cesar, tell me this. What would I need to do? Because, you know, I am a nervous cat mother. And what would I need to do if I wanted to take my cat, now who's in Mexico now, back across the border?
The only thing that you have to do is you need a health certificate to prove that your cat is don't have any contagious disease, and all the vaccines have to be up to date, and check that your cat is very healthy. You won't have any problem with the health certificate, and to travel and take with you got every place out of the country.
So you can do that for us?
Yeah, of course.
Like how much would that certificate cost?
It's a reasonable price. It's about 150 or 200 pesos.
Pesos.
Pesos. We're talking like
Exactly,
$12.
Like
Yeah,
a bit
that's
less,
right.
but $12.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, that is just the coolest thing.
I have a question for you, Dr. Cesar. You have a project called Catch and Release.
Fabulous.
I've heard about this. It's Americans or Canadians, people, they catch stray dogs or stray cats, they bring them to you, and what happens then?
Exactly, the people used to call me, and sometimes the cat or the dog from street, if they have the dog or cat, the only thing that I do is take the cat or the dog and
Castrate.
neuter or spay.
Yes, baby.
Yeah, and females I have to spay, and I take back the dog or the cat to the owner, or to the street and check again the next week to see that everything is okay, no infection, no nothing, and it's the best things that we have to do to avoid
Population.
overpopulation
of street animals.
Street
Right.
animal, exactly.
That's great awareness, isn't it?
You know
Isn't
what?
that good?
That's really good because there are some random, you know, animals
Sure.
roaming around
There
that
are,
sure.
need to be spayed. So,
Well,
It's a very important thing that we have to do here
Yeah.
in Mazatlan.
that's
Well done.
right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Cesar, for coming on the show. We really enjoyed having you and getting to know you and being able to have this option here in Mazatlan, having a person so qualified in speaking the language. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your invitation. It was a pleasure to me here with you.
Muchas
thank
gracias,
you.
Cesar.
It was
welcome.
wonderful.
I think another great show. I certainly enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. We've got some music once again to take us out. Once again, we've got fabulous Laurie. This time she's doing one of her own compositions, Who I Am. Thanks, Laurie, if you would take us out. Thank you for being with us. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Wendy, and thank you for having me back on The Spirit of Mazatlan. This song is called Who I Am. It's the title track from my new CD recorded right here in Mazatlan. It's the little things we remember and the lies that we told. It's the most embarrassing moments, everything's to have and to hold. And it doesn't matter how we remember, Was it your story or was it mine? 'Cause the truth be told to you, my friends, what is and it's just fine. And I wanna thank you for teaching me who I am. You're my music, you're my memory, and you're the songs of my life. You've seen the bruises and the heartache. You brought me melody and light, and all the times you made me laugh, made me forget some foolish pride. Singing for the stars out on the beach at the plantation, butter and pine. And I wanna thank you for letting me be who I am. We're older now with days gone by, so many miles apart. And I just wanna let you know you're every beating of my heart. And I wanna thank you now for all the moments we'll share again, where I can be safe and free and be who I am.